What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Chrissy Chaos. We come at you every week. It seems like a different day each week. We typically try to do it on Tuesdays, but sometimes that doesn't happen. It all depends. It's not up to me, even though it is. Sometimes I get anxious, and I don't know why I do what I do. But we come out here, we call the show Chrissy Chaos, really for no reason. And that's just how the show goes. And you come with me each week, and we talk about stuff. Sometimes we talk to guests. Sometimes we talk to each other. Sometimes I just talk to me. Sometimes I think we have the show going and the cameras aren't even on. But it's always fun, and I'm always looking to cancel it moments before we begin, because that's just my personality. It's who I am. I'm always looking for a way out. But this year, it's 2025. I'm Chrissy Commitments. I'm committing to the show. I'm committing to you. I'm committing to my family. Okay, with that being said, we do have a guest today, our first guest of the year. You guys specifically said, we've been watching the comments. You said, can you please have a fucking Sri Lankan guy on? That's all we want. And so I said, yes, let me find one. And then we found, I think, the biggest Sri Lankan comedian ever in the history of Sri Lanka. I don't know that there's anybody better. We call him the Sri Lankan sensation, Mesh Money, okay? Romesh Ranganathan.
Yes, beautiful.
That's it, baby. Ranganathan's hot dogs.
Yeah, thanks,
right?
man. Thanks for having me.
See? And you see what I do?
Holy shit.
Is
Thank
I just
you,
know
man.
your name. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, don't you hate it when people are like, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Does that get annoying?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I did the first time I came out. First time I came out to the States, I was doing a documentary about Richard Pryor, and they said let's go do a gig. So I went and did a gig. I think it was the Improv, and there was the host said to me, "What's your name?" And I said, "Oh, it's Romesh Ranganathan." And he goes, "I ain't saying that." And then. And then I was like, okay. He goes, I'm just going to say Romesh. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
So then I went up and did my set. And then after I came off, he spent about 10 minutes like ripping me for thinking that I was famous enough to just go by one name. But it was his decision because he couldn't pronounce my surname. But people shit themselves. I don't know how awkward people get in the States, but in the UK, now it's all right because I've been going for a bit. But in the UK, when I first started, people would be like the host would say to me, "How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?" I'll tell them just before they're about to bring me on, and then as they're about to bring me on, their ass would go because they don't want to look super racist, and then they would just go next act. Do you know what I mean? And I actually, I kind of respect it. I mean, you just went for it,
dude. Romesh Ranganathan.
Yeah, it's
that's
beautiful.
it is, baby. It's just all it takes. You just say it, you pronounce it phonetically, and you take a swing. These people, these hosts, they don't want to take swings. They'd rather fail. Sometimes you got to just commit people. You got to take a swing.
I really respect your honesty.
Thank you. Well, that's what it is. Roro, do people call you Roro? What is it? What do your boys call you?
Rom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were in New York, growing up in New York, we would call you Roro.
Roro.
Roro,
Yeah.
it's
R squared I've been called before.
R squared. All right, so in some ways, that's Roro.
Yeah.
Because that would be a more term of endearment. Where I'd call you Roro, or I'd call you Mesh Money.
Mesh Money I like.
You like that?
Yeah. I used to do a bit of rapping, and I was called Ranga the Lazy-Eyed Assassin. But Mesh Money would be better. It sounds more like modern.
We liked Mesh Money, and here's the thing. Here's, number one, I'm excited because I told you I reached out to you years ago.
Yes.
I was like, I'm a fan. We watched your whole what was that? Crawley.
Crawley, yeah.
Crawley. What was it called? Going back to Crawley.
Straight out of Crawley.
Straight out of Crawley.
Yeah.
And me and my girl watched. We were like, I loved it. It was great. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like behind the scenes of his. Where he grew up, it's comedy coming out of that neighborhood to O2 Arena. It's amazing, but we really I want to talk about all that. But the first thing we want to talk about, the thing that's weighing on our minds right now, is we want to ask you as a British person, who is Robbie Williams and why does he have a movie with a monkey CGI'd as himself? We don't even know who he is here.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I've seen this. This is like a big thing now, right? But so Robbie Williams. Do you really want me to explain? I can give you the full lowdown if you want.
We were sitting. We were going to go see Gladiator 2, and then they saw a coming attraction of Robbie Williams, who we don't know who this is.
Okay.
playing out arenas, CGI'd as a monkey.
Yeah.
And we were like, we thought we were on drugs. But he's not famous here in America.
But is there not a world in which, like, you just watch it because this is somebody we haven't heard of, but I'm interested in the story regardless?
Yes.
My impression as a British person who's looking at this online is that Americans are quite angry that this is being forced upon them. Like, you know, like I'm seeing a lot of TikToks where people are just going, who the fuck is Robbie Williams? Like, just getting really angry about it.
Yeah.
But you're not being forced to watch it. It's not like the U2 album getting put on your phone, right? Like this
That's
is not...
a good point.
Like, you don't have to go and watch it. It can just flop if you don't know.
I wouldn't say that I don't think us in this room are angry. We are confused, though.
Yeah. Okay.
How can you explain Robbie Williams to us, and who is he like? Who is he like in America?
Okay. I don't know if he's like... Okay, basically, he was in a boy band. The UK equivalent of Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. Okay. He called Take That. Okay. And like 30 years ago, whenever they first came out, they were huge. Every girl loved... They were massive in the UK. And then Robbie Williams, there's a guy called Gary Barlow who is like the talent... Well, Robbie Williams is talented. I don't want to get myself into shit. I have to go back to the UK after this. But Gary Barlow is the one that wrote all the songs, right? Robbie Williams was like the maverick kind of... I would have been famous wherever you'd have put me. They were all like, "Oh, we're in a band, aren't we lucky?" And Robbie Williams is like, "I'm boiling this down. You know, I've not seen the film, but essentially, he was the guy that was like, I would have been famous whatever happened. Like he was like the maverick kind of, you know, you can't contain me type of character.
Got it.
And then he went solo, and everybody in the UK was like, this guy's not going to do shit. Gary Barlow wrote all the songs and all that, but it turned out he was just like a pure entertainer.
Right.
And so he ended up getting quite big in the UK.
Got
And
it.
I think one of his like big dreams, like bucket list things, was to piss off the US by putting out a film without them feeling like he's got validation to do it. And so he's done it, man.
He's
Do you know
done
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah. Well, he really has. I mean, we don't understand the monkey, but I will go see it.
We don't. Can I just be clear?
Yes.
We don't understand the monkey either. I do want to just put that on the record. We're not clear about it. What I suspect, this is what I think, because I saw him on like Graham Norton, and he was, I think it was Graham Norton or something, but he was saying that the reason he did the monkey is just he thought it'd be a mad idea, you know, like this kind of auteur.
Yeah.
Kind of, but what I think it is I think they didn't know who to cast to play Robbie Williams, right?
Got it.
What actor plays Robbie Williams? I don't think there's a decision that he would have been happy with. So the obvious answer is CGI monkey.
Obviously.
That's the trajectory. I mean, you see where that comes
And I
from.
genuinely hope this is a trend that continues through many movies. If you want to say, hey, actors can't play disabled people, they have to play their type, you can't typecast, you can't do that, then everybody's a CGI monkey.
I think any time that casting is tricky,
CGI monkey.
And but by the way, I would say it doesn't have to be a monkey. It could be like a baboon.
Anything.
Anything. It doesn't even have to be a primate.
You do it for everything. I mean, people were complaining at, I forgot, I think it was Joel Edgerton was playing Moses in a movie years ago.
Yeah.
He was playing Moses. He's not Middle Eastern, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what you do now? CGI baboon plays Moses. Bang, you solve it.
There you go.
That's it. What do you want?
I think, and yeah, I think it works.
Let's make it sense.
I've not seen the film, so it might not work. But.
Does he genuinely deserve him? Like, is he somebody big enough over there that it made sense he got a biopic?
He is big in the UK. I almost feel like because you guys don't know who the hell he is. I find it almost embarrassing going. But like he is big. Like he was like you know, like how
like we're living in. You seen that movie Yesterday?
Yeah.
Like this is like yesterday where we don't know.
Yeah. And I'm your Himesh Patel. I've come in as a So he was big. Like he got.
Like, were you shocked he got a movie, or were you like, yeah, this adds up?
To be honest, I was shocked it was big. It was coming out here. That's my honest.
Got it.
I was shocked it's coming out here because I knew that in America he wasn't as big. But what I thought was it might be one of those things where even if you don't know who Robbie Williams is, the story is, you know, I'd watch a film of somebody that I don't know who they are if the film's like a good film, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think that's what the thinking was behind it. But
Yeah.
what I didn't expect was. I didn't expect it to be this. It's kind of controversial. I mean, it feels like it stirred up a lot of feeling.
Well, dude, let me tell you something. You ready for this? You are this is why I'm drawn to you. You are, first of all, you're like, you have my dream life because
I do.
I swear to God, we're very similar.
You want to be brown?
I've always wanted to be a 47-year-old Sri Lankan man. Always. I've always said, God, make me in my late 40s and Sri Lankan. But I'm fucking cool as shit. Yeah. No, because number one, what I love when I watch your travel shows, you got these amazing travel shows, but you could tell that you hate traveling.
Right.
But you're doing this travel show. That's me. All I want to do is see the world, but I don't want to leave because I hate leaving my kids and I hate leaving New York. And you're big, you're humongous in England. You sold out the O2 Arena multiple times. That's all. Even though I don't want to travel and I don't want to do anything, I've had this dream since I'm a little kid. I just want to be wildly famous in England.
Right.
And I have
in
no
England
idea
specifically.
why. I want to be like a mix of you and Robbie Williams.
Right.
I don't know what it is. So when I watch you, I'm like, this is the life. I'm supposed to be Rom.
I think you could have been. I mean, you could have been Rom.
Maybe I still can be.
I think you can because look, as I said, I'm a huge fan. I think you've got funny bones. I think you're a really funny guy. Whenever I've done shows in New York, I always find it incredible that anybody breaks out here because I think the standard of stand-up here is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Like, I get excited to come out here and gig because I feel like it's like training at altitude, because all the comics are so shit hot. But one of the things, I remember I filmed a documentary a few years ago and I came out and I did a gig for Mark Norman. He was doing a gig. Is it the Black Cat? The
Fat Black Pussycat?
That one, right.
Yeah.
So I was doing a gig there and I was on 9th and every person on before me I thought was incredible.
Yeah.
To the point where I started to get slightly nervous about going on. And it did occur to me then, I don't know how you break out. If you're, that's what I'm saying, like you broke out here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say arguably the hardest environment to break out of.
Yeah.
So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
I'm like the Robbie Williams of Queens.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think, in the UK, you kill it. You'd be fine.
Well, but
I reckon you're about 6 months away from the O2.
Really?
If you went for it. If you went over there now and you went, my goal is to sell out the O2.
Yeah.
I think you could do it in a year. Like 6 months to a year. You'd make it happen.
Well,
I've got no doubts.
When are you doing Town Hall? What's the date?
23rd.
January 23rd, Town Hall, New York, because I'm going to be in Florence anyway. So there's no shot to see me. So you see who I've always wanted to be, Romesh Ranganathan. I go January 23rd. Go see him.
Thanks for the physical. I like the physical movement you do with the
Thank
name
you.
as well.
Well, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Just like me, Chris Distefano. You have fun a little bit. So, by the way, thanks for the glass cups. Thanks for bringing your grandma's fucking cups out for the guests. So thanks for giving him fucking tap water, asshole.
Chris, I got a question for you in London. How do you expect to be successful in London if the last few times you've cut your trip short and canceled all your shows?
That's true.
Why? What happened?
Because
when you reached out to me.
Yes.
So I was like, genuinely, I'm not just saying this. I was like, I would love to play a part in helping Chris be massive in the UK. Genuinely.
I would love that.
Like genuinely. And then I saw you were doing some shows, and I thought, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna basically big you. I'm gonna just basically co-sign you, big you up, share you on my socials, all of that shit. Not that I'm any good at that sort of thing, but give you the big up.
Yeah.
This guy's the guy. And then I don't know what happened after that.
And then I probably canceled the shows.
Right. Why?
Because what I do, I'm the king of this. I put a tour on sale. I put a tour on sale in the UK. I did this in Australia.
Yeah. Because you had like I remember seeing an image, like you'd knocked up a specific kind of British kind of Chris is coming to Britain.
Yeah, I did a whole thing, spent money on ads, did everything. Some of the shows were sold out, and I just canceled them all. So it has nothing to do with ticket sales. I mean, some of them weren't selling, but some of them, I remember one of the shows in Australia was like, I was sold out like 2,000 seater. I was like 1,800 tickets sold. I was like, I'm not fucking going. And they were like, what? My agent told me. He told me, he was like, you're one of my clients that, he goes, when you call, I just have to breathe. He goes, and you're not difficult at all, like a ego or like a prima donna. It's not that. It's that you constantly have to be talked into doing the thing that you love. You're given the opportunity to do the thing you love, and you have to constantly be talked into doing it. And I don't understand how to even help you.
That's it. That's
Chrissy
the image I saw.
Yes.
That's the image I saw. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was coming
Road
through.
to the O2.
Yeah.
We're going to, holy
do
shit.
it. And then
you bothered to do all of that.
Yeah.
And
John did a bunch of them.
John did all the, yeah.
You did Glasgow, you did.
Yeah, we did 8, but then your management and your reps said we had to take them all down because it was extremely offensive.
Oh yeah,
I
those are
offended
racist.
people by accident. What did we do?
There's bomber planes and tanks.
Yeah, we were doing like a play, something. I guess we offended.
How did you think that was going to be okay? That can't have been the biggest surprise to you when you discovered that had offended some people.
Didn't you offend Irish people? Didn't you?
Yes, because of the flag, the wrong flag.
Because we put Dublin on there.
We put Dublin on there with the wrong UK flag.
That is what is that?
We messed up.
That's a 20-second Google, right?
We messed up.
Dude, you don't even need to know the history, really.
Well,
that's just a quick.
Then the next idea was I was going to have a tour. I was going to have a tour posted me just holding Hitler's head. Like,
that's a great idea. Do you know what? That's a great idea.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just getting them even worse.
I would love to see that just plastered on the O2.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, Rom, can you repost this? Do me a favor. Can you retweet this? Tell your fans at the weakest link that I'm coming with the fucking Chrissy Hitler head.
No, but why do you pull it, though?
Hey, this podcast sponsored by Blue Chew. Absolutely. Blue Chew, you know what it is, baby. It's an online service. They want to just give you a boner. That's what Blue Chew wants to do. These tablets are made right here in the beautiful, gorgeous United States of America. They have the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and they just want to have you rock hard. We want to see those rock hard boners. That's what I want to do. I want to see it. Blue Chew tablets, I love them. The best part, it's all done online. They will literally just email you boners. And I love it. Done online. You don't have to go to a pharmacy or a doctor's office or anything like that. No awkward conversations, no waiting in line. Just Blue Chews sent right to yo dough. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. And make no mistake, there will be opportunities arising. I love it. Blue Chew wants men rock hard. And to be honest, that's what I want. That's all I want for 2025 is I want to see a rock hard peepees. And Blue Chew and I share the same ideas. Blue Chew wants men rock hard. That's the mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. We want to see you walking around with your boners till every tent is pitched. That's what they're telling me. They just want to get out there. I want to play fucking dummy sticks with every guy out there this year. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we have a special deal for our audience, as we always do. You try Blue Chew for free. You just pay the $5 shipping at checkout when you visit BlueChew.com. That's BlueChew.com to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring Chrissy Chaos. Babe, beware the Ides of March and February. February 14th, 15th, I'm at Cobb's Comedy Club, NBA All-Star Weekend. Tickets almost sold out, so if you want to see Chrissy Sanfran, Chrissy Rice-Cerrone, Chrissy the Gay, go to ChristyComedy.com. March 14th, Tampa, Florida. We're doing the Tampa Theater again for the third time. Tampa Tony will be in there with compression socks pulled up to his nutsack. So if you want to get there and get a picture with him, get there early. March 14th, Tampa Theater, Tampa, Florida. Then March 15th, Orlando, Florida. Plaza Live. I'm coming in. Chrissy Disney, Dilfs of Disney, Chrissy Chlamydia coming in with goofy ears to get my chlamydia medicine. March 30th, Providence, Rhode Island at the Vets Memorial Auditorium. This is part of, I believe it's called the Rhode Island Comedy Festival. March 30th, Providence, Rhode Island, Chrissy 13 Colonies, Chrissy Northeast, Chrissy Providence, Chrissy the Friar. Coming in the Vets Memorial Auditorium. If you know me, you know I support our troops. That's why I support the vets, and you should too. ChrisDComedy.com for all my Tiki Wikis. And we got more dates getting announced soon. And also the biggie, the one that I skipped over, I wanted to leave the best for last. January 18th, History Hyenas live podcast, Lincoln Theater, Washington, D.C., 2 days before the inauguration. Okay? Be there. Be there, or you're a lib cuck. ChrisDComedy.com. Okay, so I think one thing that I used to do that I'm getting much better at now is I would get a lot of anxiety about just leaving home. I don't want to leave my kids.
Sure, I get that.
I don't want to leave New York.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm a big thing of like, my kids are so little. I don't want to miss their life. I'm doing well enough in New York. I don't need to do this, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, number one, I do. I do for my family, for, to keep my career going. And the second is like life, you have to have balance. Like, I want to spend every moment with my children. Sure. But they have their own lives. They're in school. They're doing things where even my girl, their mom was like, you need you now for like 5 months this past year. I just didn't go on the road and I just stayed in New York. And she was like, you're like not you anymore. You're not being silly. You're depressed. She was like, I know that you want to be home with us and that's admirable. She's like, but you have to like live your life. And if that means going on the road and doing these things, then you just balance that. So now what I've decided to do is I'm going back on the road, but it's going to be 2 weekends on, 2 weekends off. So I'll always be home. It will never be that, the light will never be that far down the tunnel. And then when I do the UK, I'll just bring the family with me. And my agent was like, what if we do it where you just go to the UK for maybe a month at the end of the summer, even though I know they say that's a downtime, but you just accept that. Go do as well as you can. At least you have your family there with you in like an Airbnb or something in London. Would that work? And I said, okay, that I'll do. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay. I first of all, I think that's a realization you come to before the shows are sold out. Yeah. That's my first that's my first reaction. Yeah. Is that do that before you've put the poster together.
Yep.
It's the go I want to be at home.
Yeah.
Okay? You know. That's what I would say in terms of the work that's gone in,
right?
Offending the Irish community and all that stuff.
Yes.
That takes time, and that's like that's people have put time into putting those images together.
We have to have security guards outside of the shows in Dublin and Belfast.
Yeah, of course. You fucked off both groups. Well done, and that's good. In a way, that's equal opportunities.
Yeah.
Chris, you did also cancel shows years ago when you went for the London football game.
Yes, I did do that. I had the London football. No.
You canceled.
No, listen to me. London football game. We did
like your conscience.
We did the O2 Shepherd's Bush. That one I did. I was there, and that one I did, and then did the O2 Shepherd's Bush, and then we did something in Bloomsbury Theater or something.
But didn't you go?
No, listen to me. You're thinking of. The baseball game is what I canceled. It was the Yankees versus the Red Sox.
Okay, in London.
In London, the first MLB game. And I wasn't really selling tickets at all back then. I was doing shows in London, and then I had which I think I did one of them. And then the shows I was doing at the Stand in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And Glasgow. And so what happened was my friend was supposed to come meet me, and him and I were going to go to the Yankees-Red Sox game together, but he couldn't get on a flight because he works for JetBlue, and he was trying to get on these flights, standby, and he just couldn't get on any flights because all the Americans were going to England to play the Yankees-Red Sox, to watch the Yankees-Red Sox game. So I got really, really nervous, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was in Newcastle. That's where I was, at the Stand Newcastle. I was in Newcastle. Great club. And so so he told me he couldn't go, and I made a decision right there in the middle of the night. I texted the owner of the club and I said, "Listen, my stepmother was killed in an accident, and I have to get home." And I got on a flight and I went back to America, and I showed up at my mother's house, and she was like, "What are you doing? I thought you weren't going to be home because she was watching my daughter." She was like, "I thought you weren't going to be home for another 4 days." And I was like, yeah, well, I got really nervous and I came home. And she was like, why did you do that? Like, why would you do that? Like, I've told you, you can't do that. You have to push through. This is your dream career. You finally have it. You have to push through. And then I was like, well, I made up. She was like, what did you just leave? I said, no, I said that my dad's wife died in a car accident.
By the way, as a go-to excuse, that is fucking mad.
Mad, yeah.
Like, why did you go for that? Because it's such an extreme thing to pull out.
Yes, and I thought no one's going to question it.
Of course they wouldn't.
And then
what a big move that would be.
No, then the club owner said they needed proof of the death certificate, so I emailed that over. No. No, but then I took my stepmom out to dinner. I said, hey, Dee, I'm sorry. I said, I want to take you out to dinner. She's like, why are you being so nice? Whatever. And I took her out to dinner. And then in the middle of dinner, I said, listen, I made up a little lie last week. I said that you were killed in an accident so I could get home from the club. And she was like, okay.
Okay.
She was like, all right. She was.
But
like,
how does that affect her life? She can't go to Newcastle.
Yeah, I said. So what I'd like you to do is just now post any pictures of yourself on Instagram for about a month, just in case they're checking. She was like, so you think the club in Newcastle is going to be checking your stepmother's Instagram? They don't even know who I am. I said, anything's possible.
It could happen by accident.
It could happen.
Yeah.
So I've done extreme things, but I'm committed in 25 to not do those things, to stay on the path, because now we've done well, Vito, and you have to back me up on this. We have not canceled anything. In the past 3 months, we've just been going and doing them. Okay?
No.
I just had shows in Miami New Year's Eve. I almost pulled the plug on those the day before. I didn't do any. I didn't pull the plug, and I went and we had fun.
You've threatened to cancel a lot of stuff, and you've went through with it.
But I haven't done it.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't done it.
Can I say,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It sounds very extreme. I relate to everything you're saying.
Thank
you.
See?
I totally... The thing about the anxiety, the thing about wanting to pull just before you do it, the thing about not wanting to be away, I relate to it completely, right?
Yeah.
Because your kids, without getting too like heavy, but like your kids are only little or young or want to hang out with you for a relatively short amount of time. This sounds like I'm now trying to convince you to pull more shows.
Right.
But I've had to have that same realization myself. For example, that travel show that you talked about, I don't do it anymore because I don't like to be away from home. This is what happened to me. So I did, on the last one we did, they said to me, how do we do these travel shows in a way that, because I started to go, I don't like being away from home, exactly like you. I hate being away from home. And also the worst thing for me was I was away from home, then I'd FaceTime home and I'd speak to my wife and then I'd say, do the kids want to talk? And she'd go, no, they're cool. And then I was like, shit, like that's bad.
They're forgetting
That's
about
good
me.
for them. Like I'm happy for them that they're not like pining. But for me, as like a narcissistic father, that's a bad look. So then I was like, I can't go away for this long. And so then they said, okay, we're going to condense the series into like one trip. So I did Africa. I did Rwanda, Uganda, Madagascar, right? All in one trip. 3 weeks away. I managed to convince myself the day before I was going that I was going to die on this trip. And I was 100% convinced. But I didn't want to tell Lisa, my wife, because it's a weird thing to say, right? And also it then means that every day, you know, I'm not contactable the whole time that I'm on this trip. So then every day that I'm not contacted, you go, like, you could be dead. It's time to move in the personal trainer. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
But I really went through that anxiety of like, to the point where I was like, I'm going to pull out, I might have to pull out of doing this show, but it's like 3 episodes of a show for the BBC. And then I was like, I can't, you know, the ramifications of that are so big. So I just went ahead with it. But every day I was like, okay, I didn't die. Genuinely, I'd come back to the hotel or wherever we're staying. I go, I didn't die today. We'll go again and let's see what happens. And then, honestly, as we were leaving Madagascar, that was the last one, I was getting on the plane going, well, the trip's over. I'm going to die on this plane. Because I'm convinced. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that didn't happen. But I have made a decision to balance shit out. And I'm doing exactly what you're talking about. So what that means is work hard, relax hard, right? So for every period of time that I've got where I'm away, like, for example, I'm coming out to the US for like 2 weeks. The New York show is the end of that. I have to have something booked that is family quality time. It doesn't have to be something amazing or expensive or whatever, but it's where we're all hanging out and spending time together. If I don't have that, I can't do the previous thing. So that's my rule. I have to have something that I'm looking forward to that pays off. And you feel so stupid saying this, right? Because I know, like, the truth is, you and I, we wanted to be comic. Like, that is my dream. Like, it's like you said, it's my dream to be a comedian. And then you get to a point where you think, and now I'm resenting, like, the destiny has given me this dream, right? I don't feel like anything I do is work because I love what I do. I dreamt about this, and now I'm resenting it. What the fuck is wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a horrible, horrible thing. But I think you doing the balance thing is good, and finding a way to make it work. And then the other side of it is, the truth is, even though we love being comics, right? Being the biggest comic ever is not worth losing everything. It's just not worth it. It's not worth losing everything else. Do you know what I mean? So you just go, what is the line that I'm willing to walk? What is the level of sacrifice I'm willing to make? How will that pay off? And am I happy with that? And if I'm not, then I've got to move the needle a little bit. But otherwise, so I know I gave you a bit of shit, and obviously you've offended the Irish, and I do want to distance myself from whatever those images were. But I respect what you did. I think, how old are you?
40.
40. So like, to come to that realization, I think it's a really healthy thing, man, because I think sometimes in comedy, because it's such a difficult cutthroat. You've got to try and break out. I feel like sometimes you get so shark-eyed about it that you forget about that other shit. So,
yeah, I feel like now I love doing this podcast. I have another podcast, History Hyenas, I do with my friend, and then so we bond, we talk, and then I have big shows that I do in New York, and I'm very motivated to be like, how do I create life for me in New York, where if I can only go on the road if I want to, not because I have to. So I like, but I like trying to do all that, but it is one of these things where I did have this realization where it's like, I don't want to be the biggest comic or the greatest comic to ever live, because that sacrifice for me is going to take way too much time from my family.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not worth it. I'd be okay with just being like, hey, we like Chris. We like going to his shows. Like, it's not like, oh my God, every time I do a show, I'm going to give it 100% and try to kill for the crowd, for sure. But this idea of like, I got to be the best that ever lived. No, dude, that's all ego. That's all narcissism. Alexander the Great was the greatest conqueror of all time. If he was walking around right now, he'd be like, look at this jerk off in a toga. Nobody cares.
I know. And also the other thing is, I don't think it's healthy to have a goal that depends on so many outside variables. Do you know what I mean? All I think is, I think is like, when I go and do a show, I want to write and perform to the best of my abilities. The idea of being the best, if you go, my goal is to be the best, that depends on everyone else being worse than you. Do you know what I mean? You're not in control of that. Do you know what I mean? And like, I feel like so many people get so caught up in, I want to win an award, or I want to get recognised in this way, I want to get 5 stars from this publication. All of that shit is so outside of your control. I just think it's like I don't agree with. I don't think it's mentally healthy to go for those. You can get so caught up in like what the final destination, I've got to get here, I've got to get here. You don't enjoy the shit that's happening now. I really do believe that. We walked past Madison Square Gardens. Right?
You did?
And one of my kids was like,
oh, you're here with your kids?
With my kids and my wife,
lovely trip.
Yeah. But I don't know what your kids are like, but my kids don't think anything I do is of any real merit. No. Like they don't think it's cool. So, for example, we went to see 50 Cent at the O2, right? And while we're waiting for the gig, a banner comes up, Romesh Ranganathan playing the O2, in like an advert for the thing. Yeah. And I turned to my son, and he was disappointed in 50 Cent. Like that he was playing the. I thought he was going to go, holy shit, you're playing the same room as 50 Cent, but actually it took the gloss off 50 Cent for him, because your kids, they just don't give. They just
he
don't
was like,
think.
I thought 50 Cent was bigger.
Yeah,
he was playing
exactly.
the same room as you. I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were walking past Madison Square Gardens, and one of my kids said to me, "Oh, do you reckon you'll ever play here?" And I said, "No." Right? And they said, "What? Why? Why? You did the O2?" And I said, I'm just telling you now, I am not going to put the work in that is required for me to get big enough here to do Madison Square Gardens. Yeah. And I'm cool with that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's like, you and I are the same in the sense of what you have is being so big in your home country where you don't have to imagine you were only big in the US and your whole career had to be here, but your family still wants to live there. You'd be freaking miserable. You'd be miserable. So now, so I kind of like this. I used to think, this local notoriety was like, oh man, but one day I want to be able to do big venues everywhere. Now I realize that's actually not what I want at all. Like I want to be famous in the original 13 colonies, which is just the northeast, from about Massachusetts down to Georgia. I love our other states. I love our country, but I really don't care. Listen, if I never get big in Idaho, what am I going to fucking do, guy? Then I'm going to get big in the original 13, and I'll keep fighting the British. I've kept the war continuing against tyranny of the British king. I've still fuck King George.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, listen, my family had nothing to do with it at that stage. Yeah.
Wait, so when did you start to career really start to take off in the UK? Was it like more recent, years ago?
I think so. I was doing like stand up for a while. I started quite late though. I was a teacher before.
Math, right?
Yeah, and so I just did open mic comedy as like a hobby, and then a friend of mine was like doing a competition. He said, "Oh, you should come along and like try out for this competition." It's a competition called "So You Think You're Funny," and it's like a nationwide competition. And then the finals,
like televised?
No. It's just like they do heats all over the country, and then the final is at the Edinburgh Festival, right? Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So I got through to the final of that competition, and somebody said to me, "Oh, you should definitely try this the reason we put you through to the final is because you should be a comic, right?" So I was like, okay, that's the first time I really thought about it. And then you do the thing of like working the circuit. Yeah. You know, I wasn't making any money. In London, and you know, I was teaching. I was still full-time teaching, and then doing gigs in the evening. And so I was like, finish the days to, you know, like all comics. I'm about to make it out like it's a hardship, but I'd jump in the car, get changed, drive to whatever gig, and then you're running at a loss. And then eventually started to get a little bit of attraction, you know, and all that. But my sort of, I remember I was supporting a comic. Do you know a comic, Kevin Bridges, Scottish comedian? No. So he's massive. Another guy that's massive in the UK. I think he's coming out here soon. But I supported him on tour. And while I was supporting him on tour, a show that I'd just done called Asian Provocateur, which is this show about me going back to Sri Lanka and getting in touch with my roots. Was it the one with your mom? Yes. Yeah, it's a great show. Oh, thanks, man. So, your mom is hilarious. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. She compliments you well. Yeah, she's good. She doesn't actually, I mean, she doesn't compliment me. Yeah, but that's what's funny about it. Like her kind of like, she like loves you and supports you, but she's also like kind of like what heart? Yeah, like like this is a train wreck for her. Yes, exactly. yeah. But so that show, I remember like I was doing support for Kevin, and then I was going and working on new material. So I'd go and do he was doing arenas, so I'd go and do his arena spot, and then I'd go down to the local comedy club and try out a new set because I didn't want to try out new stuff in an arena. Yeah. So I'd go, and I remember like Asian Provocateur had just come out. And they said, "Oh, we've got a special guest. He's trying out new stuff." And I came out, and for the first time in my life, the crowd went insane. Wow. And then started shouting stuff from the show at me while I was like doing this set. And then I was like, holy shit. And how many years ago was that? This was 2015, 2016. So at that time in England, you were on TV. This wasn't the internet. This was the television. Yeah. So TV was still big back then in the UK. Yeah. Because it's not big here anymore. It's not. Listen, entertainment comedy, like in TV in the UK, is dying. It's almost gone. It's still it's like the US. It's the internet now. Yeah, in the UK. Basically. Yeah. So then, like, you know, it feels like we had different generations of comedians that became famous. So there was like, you know, how they became, how they got their profile. So before me, if you did like one spot on a chat show and one live at the Apollo, which was like the big stand-up show, still is a big stand-up show in the UK. If you did those, you could tour the UK, right? By the time I started doing it, you've got to be on all the panel shows, you've got to be on all those regularly, right? Doing them all the time, and then your profile kind of comes up like that. And that's how I did it. And then after my generation of comics came through, even that started to. Now that's not a thing. Online is the only way you can. The only way, yeah. There's no way. I don't believe there's no way now through TV in the UK that you can get famous. If you like, you know, get a profile, whatever you want to call it. Right. If you've already got a profile, you know, I still do TV, but that's because I got my profile while TV was still, you know, a big thing. Whereas now, I just don't think. Yeah. You look at a lot of the new comics now who I see that are starting to tour. They all broke out online. It's all online. It's the same thing, crowd work, clips, all that. All of that, yeah. And then some of them will be like, you know, a couple of times we've had guys, you know, on The Weakest Link, TV is starting to like try and get people from the online world onto their shows. Yeah. And like those guys are like, why would I want to come on your show? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, why? It's a waste of time. Yeah, you're first of all, I get more viewers than you. Second of all, you're gonna tell me what I can and can't say. I can't be myself. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's why I think, like, for someone like you, you know, you're talking about like not wanting to travel and shit like that. I know people in the UK. I mean, obviously, a lot of my friends are comedy fans and comedians, but your reputation is impeccable in the UK, where you cancelled shows. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's partly because I think it's partly, you know, the online thing has blown up, but also whenever I've watched you, and I think this is such a big thing now, is like you are so yourself. I've never seen you be anything but yourself on anything I've ever seen you on, right? Yeah, and now whether you love that or hate that, I love it. Yeah. But like whether you love it or hate it, you know you're getting Distefano whenever you see you on anything, right? That's it, yeah. That's not true. When people like me were coming through on TV, you'd go and do a panel show and they'd be like, can you make sure you don't say it? Or, you know, can you make sure politically you're balanced or whatever, you know, there's all these like rules and stipulations. So when I first started doing TV, I would say if you watch my early things, I wasn't, it wasn't how I am now. Do you know what I mean? I was like shitting myself about, I've got to try and get a profile out here. If I don't if I don't do it in the way that they want, or if I don't rip this like appearance, they might not book me again. I know that always still happens, but I just feel like you're seeing more people just being themselves and getting a following from just being themselves.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Now, you've been in New York now for what, a week?
Yeah, about a week.
Have you seen anyone light themselves on fire? Anyone try to stab you, kill you, anything like that? Because New York used to be, everyone used to say, oh, New York, it had a bad reputation. Like, oh, did you see a dead body? That was not true for my whole life. It genuinely wasn't. It was the safest city in the world. But now, baby, you better fucking watch your back.
Well,
it's getting wild out there.
It is. Well,
you're safe because you know me, but you just say I know Chrissy D, and they'll take the Typewriter back. Say my apologies. You should have told me that.
Yeah.
And then they would said, they would have said my bad. But I do think the city is not safe as it was.
Well,
are you okay?
I think TikTok has been unfortunate for me and my mental health.
Yes.
In terms of, as soon as you look on, I looked on it before I came out to New York. Mm-hmm. And first of all, the number of videos which are people visiting New York, please do not do this, and then they list 27 things. Some of which are like, look where you're going if you're not sure. All this shit. If you go to a counter, make sure you've decided what you have, because otherwise you're going to get fucked up and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're not going to beat the shit out of you because you don't know what kind of sandwich
That's the
you want.
impression those TikToks are giving, though.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what happened to me the other day. I took my family to watch Little Shop of Horrors.
Sure.
Wholesome. Beautiful. Great show.
Gorgeous.
I thoroughly recommend it.
Love that for you.
We walked out of the theatre.
Yeah.
A homeless man who I wasn't making any eye contact with at all just started screaming at me, "Fuck you, you fucking bitch." And then just sort of really kind of got quite aggressive with me.
Was that the same MC that brought you up the Richard Pryor thing? That's him. He's like, I fucking remember you.
It was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
And then I sort of was a bit surprised because I wasn't even, this is how little I'd interact with him. I wasn't even aware he was there until he started shouting at me.
But you pissed him off.
Yeah.
Somehow
I pissed him off.
Yeah.
My kids obviously found it hilarious.
Oh, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
And then they've been calling me little bitch ever since. They are 15, 13, and 10.
Wow, you got it in early. Good for you.
Thanks, man.
And now you're
I wanted to lock my wife down early doors.
Yeah.
We had a kid before we got, like you.
Like me, dude.
Yeah.
I have had 3 kids before we got
and
married.
I did ask the question, is there a point to getting married? Is there a point?
Yeah.
We've done it, and I can tell you there is none.
There is.
I don't know what the difference is. I don't know.
The only thing, Vito and I, because Vito just got married.
Congratulations, Vito. Sorry, I didn't mean to shit on the thing that you've just done.
Yes. I think the thing is, though, is that once you feel like you're committed in, and there's really, even though there is technically a way out, there's really, and you're mentally no way out. Vito's saying that things are better that way, because when you're always living this, I could always get out if I wanted to. We're not married. I could just break up with you. You're kind of not really fully getting in, and I don't know if that's like a path to peace. I think you're going to find more hardship in the gray area where you're finding a lot of peace because you're just in. You're committed.
No, but that's exactly why I think it's bad.
Got it.
Okay, because
you're talking me in and out of it all day.
To be clear, I said it would be good for him.
Right, okay.
Like, specifically for him, I said he needed something that, like...
Okay, because you pull out of shows like...
100%.
Yeah,
I'll pull out of the wedding, no fucking problem.
your stepmother's dead so that you can get up.
Dude, I'll do that all day.
You want to hear something crazy? Ask him how many times he's moved in the last, 2 years.
How many times?
4. Technically five times.
That is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
But the house that we're moving into now, I promise I'm going to stay.
Well, obviously you feel like that now.
Yeah. Just like I'm coming to the UK.
No, but my point is that, like, if you're married, you're locked in. And so that's when I think you start to let shit go. Do you know what I mean? Because you are in a committed thing. Whereas right now, you're not locked in. I mean, you are locked in. The truth is you are locked in.
The truth is I am.
But mentally, I guess there's a difference because you're not married. So basically, you are going, I want to be with you. You know, I'm staying, like, we're together because I want to be with you. If you're married, you're like, well, I do want to be with you.
Yeah.
But even if I didn't, this would be very difficult to get out of now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like for men in particular, it encourages laziness.
Interesting.
In terms of the way you carry yourself, in terms of what you're bringing to the relationship. I just feel like once you get married, you start to slacken off.
But you look good, dude. Look at you. You have, what are you, 46, 47?
46. Yeah,
46, dude. You're in shape. You got TikTok hair. You look good.
I'm in, because you're growing your hair, right?
I am growing it out.
Yeah, me too.
It looks good.
Thanks, but I feel like I've been in a mid stage for like a year now.
But see, that looks good. The curls like that look good.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping I have, but I don't have the curls. I got straight hair like a Chinese girl. You got beautiful curly TikTok hair.
Yeah, but I wish you hadn't said TikTok hair. That's really shit on the whole thing.
Oh, I gotta hope your kids hear it. Then they call you little bitch and TikTok hair.
Yeah, I am in a mid stage. I don't know what I'm trying to do.
I think it looks good. I got to be honest with you. What does the wife think? That's the big question.
She is. She likes it because I used to have like I'd have like a tight fade or whatever.
I remember. Yeah, on the shows.
Yeah, and I thought it looked good.
Right.
But she said to me, "Don't go back to that."
Right.
But now I just because I've become paranoid that because men in their 40s they get frozen in a way of dressing and a way of looking. Right. You know, you can get locked into that till you die.
Right.
That's why when you see like 55-year-old guys like sort of wearing the same shit from like 20, it's because they just decided that was their look.
They got locked
you
in.
keep your hair the same, and I became paranoid about that. So I thought I've got to change. But now I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
I see.
I'm thinking. Do you know what I'm really thinking about doing? And I'd love your advice on this. I've had this beard for quite a while. It's starting to grey up a little bit. I was thinking about a beard stash.
What's a beard stash?
Like thicker here, and then just get rid of all. Like
just
trim
a
this
thick
right
beard.
Down. Thick tash, and then just sort of trim all this shit down.
And trim it down so you're not growing up.
So it's almost just like stubble, and then.
I like it.
Yeah?
I'm all for that.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah, because
How much dabbling have you done with facial hair? Because you look like, just from the stubble you've got there, it would come in nice.
No, it comes in very patchy.
Okay.
But I think I like this. I like the. You're staying like a Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, kind of.
Exactly.
But with more stubble, right?
Well, more stubble.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm into that. Yeah, it's like a pilot. It's like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
it.
I'm gonna do it today.
And you're gonna leave the TikTok hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Fucking perfect, dude. This is amazing. TikTok hair, full mustache, dude. You're gonna look like a gay porn star. I love it. That's gotta be your next show.
That TikTok hair thing, man. You've absolutely fucking winded me with that.
I love it, dude. I hope that's the clip. All right.
How long are you growing it out? Sorry.
I'm going to keep growing it out. My girl wants me to keep growing it. She was like, I like it long. She wants to see how long I can get. John, our boy John over here has got nice curly hair. What is Hulk Hogan?
Is that what you want?
The Sri Lankan
Yeah, but
Hulk
it
Hogan.
wouldn't finish that low. I'd probably fit about
Would you
that.
dye it a different color like that?
No.
I don't know, man.
Do you think so?
I think it would look
I think so,
sick.
dude. You look wild. If you go, are you doing any shows in Florida on your U.S. tour?
No.
Oh.
I'm coming back in November. I'll probably do Florida then.
So what are you doing in the U.S.? You got Town Hall in January. What are the other cities doing? Boston?
Boston, Chicago, Washington, LA. And then I'm doing I'm doing Vancouver and Toronto in Canada.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
well, if you go to Florida, you should do that.
Yeah, I probably
Hulk
would
Hogan,
do.
baby.
Yeah.
What about this congestion pricing? We got congestion pricing is happening in New York for the first time in Monday, and somebody's going to kill somebody because of it. But London, you guys have to pay to drive into the city, right?
Yeah.
So what are any suggestions for us with this congestion pricing?
Make the underground safer. You know,
That's
that would be kind of my number one tip.
Yeah.
You know, because if the subway, because like there were like what 2 stabbings last night, right?
It happens, baby.
I mean, what you got? But I know that you're sort of saying it like it's a charming, like New York thing.
Yeah.
It happens, baby. But 2 people were stabbed, right?
You stabbed. Somebody lit somebody on fire
Yeah.
last week. I'm just saying things are. New York is wild.
It happens,
It doesn't
baby.
happen in London, right?
It does. But I get the underground all the time without any real concern. I mean, if you're wearing an expensive watch or something like that, you need to be a bit careful.
Right. But you'll get stabbed. I know.
But very rare. Like, I mean, listen, I've taken the underground for years and years and years, and I'm yet to see a problem except for when I'm coming out of the football. Here, I think if the subway is as dangerous as you're led to believe, you then put in a congestion charge. I don't think that's sustained. I don't think that's, in my opinion, it's not a tenable situation for people that live in New York. Do you know
It's
what I
not
mean?
going to work.
I just don't think if you want people to not commute in because you want to help congestion, then give them a safe, viable alternative. If you're not doing that, then I think there's a problem.
I know Vito was taking the train today, and what happened, Vito? Tell him what happened.
So I was on the subway today, and this guy got on the train, and he was wearing black combat boots, black cargo pants, black long sleeve T-shirt, a black bulletproof vest, a black ski mask where you couldn't see his eyes or his mouth, And
you sound racist the amount of times you think, like, he just changed
Well,
the
he was
color,
just
even,
wearing-
even for the story. He had a white hat on.
I don't know what color. I don't know what ethnicity he was. That's the thing. We could have been anything, but came on just all decked out in black, bulletproof vest. Walked onto the train, slowly walked in and was looking all around. Sat down and then started rocking back and forth. And then everybody on the train started giving each other looks. And it was a stop that was between Manhattan and Queens.
Okay.
So, like, if you're in New York, you know that's like typically a longer break between two stops. And then everybody at the following stop ran off at the same time. We were all looking at each other during. And like you said, like nobody in New York
Did you
really
run off?
I had to transfer anyway. So I was like, I would have run off, but I also had to transfer
Yeah.
anyway.
But did you run?
I didn't run, but I definitely was like staring at the door.
Is your gout flared up?
No, my
again?
gout is fine, but
He
now that
gets
you brought
gout.
it up. But I will
Do you
say,
get gout?
I
He
do.
gets gout. He's
No,
like
you
King Henry
did.
VIII.
Yeah, I get gout.
Okay.
He just limps
Congratulations,
around
man.
sometimes.
That's a sign of a great lifestyle.
I was
But-
going to say, this guy has a great life.
Yeah, well done, man.
Gout
Good for you.
before 30? Good
Gout
for you,
before-
dude.
gout
I'm
before-
32.
Do you have,
32.
do you have gout before marriage?
I didn't know, but I did have it.
Gout
Okay.
before marriage, that's good.
But like you said, like we don't in New York, we don't like get on the train thinking anything. Like I never get on the train thinking anything bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then when that happened today, I was pretty shook. Like I was like,
Right.
oh, this could be it.
Yeah. But New York is more dangerous now.
We
No,
are
but that's what you
New
see
York's more
online.
dangerous than London.
Yeah.
It just is. Even
Yeah.
though London,
They stab each other all the time.
yeah, but you could walk off a stabbing. It's like you happen, you fucking, you know what I mean? You walk it off.
How much shit have you
Here?
seen?
They're
Do you
lighting
know- do you
people
know
on
what-
fire. They're shooting
Yeah.
people.
Do you know what I'd say? I'd say there's more. I don't know, man. London is dangerous. Look, you're right, Vita. You're right. Okay, there are parts of London, and if you're not smart, you can get yourself into shit in London. Okay, it is a big city, and it is dangerous. It can be
Sure.
dangerous. It can be dangerous, like anywhere, right? But I just feel like I don't know whether it's the way it's being portrayed or whatever.
Do you think the liberals are ruining New York?
That's what we were getting to. You can just rip it. You're here safe with us. You're safe. The American flag right behind you, Papa.
Just like anybody's getting let in, man. Do you know what I mean?
We
And
are,
they're just fucking running havoc.
everywhere.
They're just fucking running havoc across the city. Do you know what I mean? And nothing's being done about it.
No,
And
I
then,
know.
Do you know it's all very well having open door policy,
Now you
but
kinda
then
get January 6th,
can
right?
somebody fucking mop up?
You get it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
You
what we
know?
voted
You know
for.
what I'm
That's what we
saying?
voted
Yeah,
for.
fucking hell.
Thank you. You guys did the right thing. You let the big guy back in. Woo! The big guy's going to come in and mop this shit, though. Fuck
No, but
up.
is it? But
Yes.
what I want to really ask you is it bullshit?
What?
Is New York being as dangerous as it's being made?
Here's
out?
what I'll say.
Genuinely.
I'm born and raised in New York. I love my city, right? I will tell you, for the first 39 years of my life, including when I was a baby, I never had an I never had an altercation ever.
Not even when a baby.
Not even when I was a baby. Dude.
Right.
Nobody messed with me.
Okay.
Nobody pushed my stroller over.
No.
Nobody did that. Nobody ripped me out of my car seat and threw me down
No.
the sewer.
And
Nobody did any of that.
that's happening all the time.
That's
now.
happens, bro. It's people getting spiking babies left and right.
Yeah.
So that never happened to me. Nobody touched me at all through my teenage years.
Yeah.
Nobody messed with me. in New
Except
York
Father
City.
Bill.
Father Bill. Well, that's a different conversation. Yeah, I got knocked around a little bit.
Yeah,
by
but
a
that's
priest.
part of childhood.
That's just being
that's
Catholic.
growing up.
Just
Yeah,
being
I get it. I
Catholic.
know that's how you people
That's
operate.
what it is, dude.
Yeah.
You grow up Queens, Brooklyn. You're Catholic. You're an altar boy.
Yeah.
You're gonna get fucking dinged around a little
It's
bit.
part
by
of the
priests.
experience. Yeah, I
It's
get
what
it.
it is. It's
Yeah.
But never got into a fight. Never got robbed. None of that ever happened. I was out all night. Getting into trouble, whatever. I mean, getting into bar fights, but like never an altercation. 2 years ago, when the city started to really start to get unsafe, 3 times in 1 year, I had to physically protect myself from a crazy homeless person, or they tried to get their hand to my pocket. One right outside the Comedy Cellar, some guy came up to me, crazy homeless guy came up to me, tried to put his hand to my North Face, and I had to push him with all my might, and he back rolled over piles of garbage, and then he was like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" And he ran. I was like, "Because you just tried to get into my jacket." So 3 different times I had to physically stop someone from assaulting, and then one time I had to intervene on the subway because some guy was trying to touch a woman's breasts pretty much. Okay, that's what he looked like he was doing. So I had to stop him. I had to help like get him off the train, and then I obviously made sure our breasts were okay. But I literally had to physically. I was like, "You all right?" So
you went from hesitating to say the word breast initially to really going in on that bit there.
Yeah,
that was an incredible turnaround.
Thank you, sir. Well, that's what it is. I'm Chrissy Chaos. So I would say with that, just my own little kind of test.
Yeah.
My own little sample size and one of one, but I've never had to do it in 39 years, including the times I was a baby. And now I've had to 3-4 times physically get involved. So I would say it is.
You think it's worse?
More unsafe. And obviously, as you can tell by my haircut and overall just personality, that I'm friends with a lot of police officers. And the police, my police friends have told me, we flat out do not want to go to work for the current mayor and current administration. Like, we don't give a fuck, because if we arrest anyone, they get out the next day. If we intervene at anything, unless it's a rape or a murder, we're going to get sued. So whether that's true or not is irrelevant. Their perception is that reality, so they don't want to get involved. But now they're saying it feels like things are going back the way they want it, so they feel like the government has their back again. So that's what it is. And by the way, that's not just white it's mostly white cops, but there are other races mixed in. Just, there's like one
that you've spoken to.
Yes. Yeah. One guy, I think he might be Latino. Maybe he's white with a tan.
Okay.
I don't know. But whites and Latinos are on the same side.
Yeah.
And I think we got the Chinese now too. I'm not sure if we have Sri Lankans and Indian people. I don't know what side
I heard there's like a little Sri Lanka in New York. Is that true?
Yeah.
I heard it's like a big but I've not seen any.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I know Sri Lanka is not India, but I don't know if you know this about me. But I have a fetish. My Jasmine gets very upset at me. In the search engines on Pornhub, I always put in chubby Indian women. It's a big thing I'm into.
Yeah. How did you initially? How did you know that?
There was a chubby Indian girl when I was in my 20s.
I wanted to know what your gateway was.
Yes. She was. She was amazing.
Right.
And then I kind of just got hooked on that.
Yeah.
But I'll try, Sri Lankan women. I'll get in there.
I've never done that search.
Yeah.
But chubby, is there a lot of chubby Indian?
No, I think there are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Indian.
I don't mean generally. I mean,
yes.
Is that search fruitful? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at.
Yes, it does bear a lot of fruit. Yes.
A lot of chubby brown fruit.
A lot of chubby brown fruit. And it was a day in my life when my girl found that was the porn I was into. And
how did she? Was that in a conversation or poorly cleared history?
Yes, unfortunately, on the same laptop. Got a little messy, and then she saw it, and then I didn't clear any of the browser history, so she just saw, months and months and pages and pictures of just chubby Indian women. And she said, we need to tell the therapist. And I said, I don't want to tell the therapist that. No. She was like, either you tell the therapist or I did. So I just came right out with it.
No, but I'd rather. Hold on. Were you going together?
Yeah, we went to couples therapy.
Okay, fine. And if she's going to say, I'm going to tell my therapist, I go, cool.
Yeah,
great. Enjoy the conversation. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, she was saying in couples therapy. So
okay. That's slightly different. Then you've got to watch it. Yeah.
I will say, though, our therapist was kind of on my side in a way. She's a woman, too. She was like, well, that's his, that's what he likes sexually. Does that, as long as he's not having affairs with, overweight Indian women. And then the therapist said his mind, my mind belongs to me. So it's like I can do whatever I want with my mind. So I said to her, well, what if when we're having, I won't watch the porn anymore, but when we're having sex, I'll just make believe you're a chubby Indian woman in my brain.
Yeah.
And that, obviously caused more problems.
Sure, of course it did.
But, now we'll see. I got to go to Walgreens and pick up that thing.
If you...
Dude, stop talking about it.
But we edited it out so they don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
that's
what makes it madder that you said it. Yeah. But can I? But if you weren't with who you're with,
you need more water. We got more cups.
No, that's fine. If you were going, because the word you used initially was fetish.
Fetish, right.
So if you weren't with who you're with now, and let's just say you dated a chubby Indian girl,
okay.
How do you think? I'm asking just generally. How do you think she would feel knowing that would, even if the girl you're with was that, would that make it better or worse? I can't figure it out. Or if you're on your first date and you said, oh, do you know what? You're exactly I have a fetish for chubby Indian women. They wouldn't take that as a compliment, would they? That would be a bad thing to say.
No, like, I don't think so. Like people would say, oh, well, you must love Mindy Kaling. But Mindy Kaling has lost a bunch of weight now, and she looks fantastic. But I liked her better when she was a little thicker.
So you
in
don't
the office.
Subjectively, you don't think she looks as fantastic now
No,
as she did?
subjectively, I would like to have sex with 2011 Mindy Kaling.
Okay.
Not 2025.
Okay, fine.
But if I met her in public and I was single,
you wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say that. Even though she's a comedian too, maybe I could get away with it. But I most likely wouldn't say that.
You just did.
Yeah, but she's not listening to the. Well, maybe she will listen to the pod. She probably knows you.
Yeah, we all know each other.
Damn. Fuck. So I guess we have to edit that out too.
Yeah. She's a cousin of a cousin of a cousin.
Is she really?
No.
Oh.
In your defense, like all the Italian comics, you do all know each other.
We do. Well, but no, not really.
I feel like you know every fucking Italian comic there is.
Who's the Italian comics?
You
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah. Andrew Schultz when he wants to be.
Andrew Schultz, one half of Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is black and Italian.
The older ones. You know all the older ones. I mean, you even know fucking Chaz Palminteri.
Chaz Palminteri, Dom Herrera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like all the Italian
Sebastian
comics.
Maniscalco's got to be big in the UK. Not really.
Well,
he's massive here.
Yeah, no.
Like Robbie Williams here.
Yeah, no, I get it. If he brought out a film where he was being played by CGI Monkey and it came out in the UK people would be confused.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan.
But would he do the O2 Arena in London?
I think so. I think it's like one of those things where, like, you know, if you say, is he massive? If you go to someone in the street and say, do you know Sebastian Maniscalco? They're not going to know. But if you're a comedy fan,
right,
like the guys,
you'll know. Like Tom
massive.
Segura and all those guys. Don't know.
Yeah, people know.
This is what we were interested in. We were talking about this before you came here. Vito seems to think that Jerry Seinfeld isn't big in the UK, and I fucking gave him a smack. I pulled his pants down. I put him on, and I started slapping his bare ass. Because I spanked him for that.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he's Jerry Seinfeld. He has to be big in the UK.
Yeah, I think so. But
wow, Vito's more right. You can spank me after this. He's going to spank me on the Patreon.
The show didn't really make it that big over there, right?
Seinfeld. But it's revered now. And, you know, if you're a comedy fan, you love Seinfeld.
Okay, but if I go into the, you know, isn't it called, isn't it in England, it's not called, isn't it not J.C. Penney? Isn't it TK Penney or something?
TK Maxx.
TK Maxx. That's what it is. If I go into a TK Maxx, and I just grab somebody, you know, say they're getting lotions or something like that. Right. They're old, you know, whatever. They're women in their mid-50s, Bridget, let's call them.
Okay.
They work at the schools.
Yeah.
And I said, do you know who Jerry Seinfeld is, or I'll fucking kill you? What would they know who Jerry Seinfeld was?
Yes.
They would know.
Yeah,
see?
People,
so people would know Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
he's famous. He's famous.
Yeah.
He's famous.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous American?
The most famous American.
Who would you say?
Full stop.
Would you say Jesus Christ?
Who's the most famous American? Holy shit, that's a difficult question.
I feel like that's
Michael
easy.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Okay.
I would have guessed Trump.
Trump is Trump is big. He's big. Everybody's talking about Trump.
I can't go to Europe. The last few years, every time I've went to Europe, the one thing I've been asked about is Trump. By people from Europe.
People find Trump fascinating, like utterly fascinating. It's talked about endlessly. You could, I would say, like even if somebody wasn't particularly politicized, if you were like just getting into small talk with someone during the US elections and you started talking about Trump, that you could get into it about Trump and you know, people are.
Yeah, he's mad. He's probably the most famous American to us. Who's the most famous British person, would we say?
Not Robbie Williams.
Not Robbie Williams.
Wow.
You know who I'd honestly say it is? It was, I would say overall, dead or alive, it's probably Princess Diana. I feel like everybody knows Princess Diana here.
You would put her above the Queen?
Yeah, I would. You know who I think the most famous living British person is, though?
Who?
Ricky Gervais. I think he's the most famous here. He's the host of everything.
The Office, yeah.
Ricky Gervais. Who's more famous than Ricky Gervais? Two Americans.
David Beckham?
David Beckham is actually the correct answer.
Shout.
He just immediately got it.
Shout.
I thought he was never going to get it, and he just immediately came up with a better one in seconds.
But you know what I respect about you?
Thank you.
Is that you conceded it straight away.
Yeah.
Because if you had too much ego about it, you would have pushed back.
Oh, no.
You accepted it straight away.
I
and
tell
respect
you-
that. I actually respect that more than Vito's answer.
Yeah, let's shit on Vito a little bit. No, I will fully tell you I'm wrong just immediately.
Right, okay.
Immediately.
Yeah, I'm like that. In fact, to the point where people have said I've probably got ADHD or something like that.
Right.
That's a sign of ADHD.
Is it? Why?
Say, even if I will regret something I've said, even if somebody hasn't said that you're wrong on that. So a lot of the time, one of my favourite things is to say something and say I shouldn't have said that, or that was a dumb thing to say, or why did I say that? That is a sign of ADHD.
No.
A lack of commitment to your.
No, Ron, make no mistake. I won't be able to sleep tonight because of the amount of things I've said to you that I shouldn't have said in my head. I'm going to be up all night talking to Jasmine and be like, you believe what I said this to? I said this to him. And she's going to be like, will you just shut the fuck up? And I'm going to be talking to her through my mouth guard that I need for teeth clenching.
I'm going to say this to you now so that you don't have to go through this. You've not said anything. You've been great.
No, I really appreciate you saying that, but it doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
I'm going to be fully entranced in a mental institution.
Okay.
Because of some of the things I've said.
I can make you a guarantee. This podcast comes out at 11 on Tuesday.
Okay.
I'll probably get a text from Chris at 10 on Tuesday asking me if there's something I should take out of it.
Or begging him not to put it out at all and to just cancel everything.
He'll think of something he said on the podcast at 10 a.m. on Tuesday and say, do you think we should pull this out?
How does it work then? Will you overrule him? Or if he says it comes out, it comes out?
I'll usually give him my opinion, but then I will say it's your choice.
Right.
Because I don't want to, it's his show. So
Yeah, sure. But has there been anything that he suggested to take out that you just thought, I cannot understand why you would want that taken out, or do you normally get it?
No, because at the end of the day, I want Chris to be happy with what he puts out. So
the only things we have to take out usually is when you see how the podcast started. When I just start to go
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, I will look out. No, there's things where I'll look out for
we can't
Chris.
do. Or there's certain things that
or
I've said about my family. We can't have that out there.
Or Chris is announced. There was one thing that we mentioned that will only be on Patreon, where 4 months ago he tried to say it on the actual YouTube, the full version of the podcast. I don't think you could bring that up, and you were like, yeah, I can bring up whatever I want.
Did you say it like that though? I can bring up whatever I want.
Wait, what?
Is that how you said it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
not in a mean way.
No, but sort of Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Sort of flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Did I offend you with the Kim Jong-un thing?
No.
Oh, okay. What am I going to do with the rest of the day? I'm going to watch Back to the Future, the musical.
Sick.
And that's it, really.
It's a nice day.
Yeah.
It's a nice New
day.
York thing to do.
Although, I do think your customer service here is better than it is in London.
Really?
I just went to that. Is it Daily Provisions around the corner?
Sure.
Those people are nice.
Very nice people.
Really nice.
Yeah.
So nice. The little sort of, I got you. Mm-hmm. You're all good. Take your time. All of that. You don't get that in London.
No, they're like, move on, hurry up.
Yeah. I get. If you haven't, I sometimes get anxious when I go to places like that in London. I didn't feel that, but then I did come to this building, and I said, I said, am I at the right place?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy sitting at the desk just went, look up.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm not sure where I should go, and he said, what are you doing? And I said, he goes, are you doing music? I said, no, it's comedy. Because comedy music, same thing, man, 6th floor. Like that, really pissed off at me.
Really,
But
yeah.
he was being helpful as well.
Right, I think he's a war veteran, that guy, right? I think that guy was in Vietnam, so he just doesn't give a shit.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, of course.
I read something that was
Tell us.
in L.A., the difference between L.A. and New York is that in L.A., if you ask for directions, people will just ignore you.
Right.
But in New York, if you ask for directions, people will call you a fucking idiot, but they will tell you where to go.
Right.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to help people, right? That's what it's about. And you know what I also have realized, too? I think on the show, tell me if I'm wrong, this is our first vegan. This is our first vegan.
You literally wouldn't shut the fuck up about veganism with JB Smoove.
That's
to the
true.
point that
I've had
people
multiple
complained
vegans
about it on the episode.
on the show.
Half an hour on vegan
That is
stuff.
true. Oh, look, I got him a scone because he's British.
Wait, if you're vegan, you can't eat that.
Right.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm sorry about that. It's made with, it's got, what does it have? What do vegans want to hear?
Well, they want to hear or don't want to hear.
What? Well, what can he eat in that?
In
Oh,
that,
milk?
there's
Milk,
there's
eggs.
eggs, butter.
Yeah. Okay.
But do you know what my kid? Can I take
Kids
it
will
with
eat
me?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my kids will eat it.
Yeah.
Not like that. I mean, you're supposed to serve it with like jam and cream and shit. But
Oh, really? I just ate it raw, daddy.
you have eaten one of these?
I fucking,
you raw dogged
I
it.
raw dogged that thing, dude.
Look at the
Why would you?
Look at the floor.
Dude, there's crumbs everywhere. I'm like a toddler.
Look.
Did you like it?
Dude, I loved it. It's banana chocolate chip scone.
What are you supposed to do with it?
You're supposed to split it open
Nice.
and then jam and cream.
Interesting. What's cream? Like butter?
Like I don't know what you call it here. Like
Cream cheese?
it's not like it is the consistency
Oh,
of
like
cream.
clotted cream?
Like clotted cream. There you go.
Yeah, but
clotted
we
cream.
don't. Well, I can't eat anything that has the word clot in it. The two most disgusting words to me: clot and feet.
How much is that affecting your life?
Gross, dude. I'm not gonna have your
Yeah.
clotted cream or your feet burger.
Listen, what was that? Pig feet and clotted cream.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Wait a minute. So today, and then I know I told him 30 minutes. How long have we been? I've taken your time. I'm so sorry.
You're at an hour and 11 minutes.
I'm sorry, dude. Is your
that's-
family waiting for us?
They're downstairs in the foyer.
Are you serious this whole time? I'm sorry, because I was
No,
only
no.
supposed to be 30 minutes. But we're
No,
having
that's
a
all
good
right.
time.
No, we're having a good time.
All right,
yeah.
one last question, and then you'll go, and then I'll let you go. What
That sounded like an order, not
Sorry. This is wild. I'm out of control.
That's incredible.
I'm out of control,
One
dude.
more question and then you'll go.
Then you'll go.
Yeah, go on.
Dude, so, well, it's a stupid question. We're
Do
going to
it.
think of a better question, but what did you eat? Because as a vegan, I don't know what you ate today. What'd you eat today?
I had avocado toast.
That's it?
Yeah.
But what are you going to eat for lunch then?
We're going to. Do you know a place called? So basically, one of the there's a friend of mine that's helping me do these shows out here. That
By the way,
used-
your nails are fantastic. Holy shit. Beautiful.
Are you being
Shine-
sarcastic?
No, the
Are these
shine. I didn't even notice the two were painted. Those
Yeah.
the other two that aren't
Yeah.
painted are just so polishing and
yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah. It's a gloss.
It looks
It's
amazing.
a gel.
I love it.
Would you ever consider doing something like that?
No, I mean I bite my nails because I have crippling anxiety. But
Okay.
but I bite them and I spit the nails out all over my car. So I probably shouldn't do that.
Okay, yeah.
But your nails are beautiful.
Thanks,
dude.
man. But if you get builder gel, you can sort of counteract
Amazing.
that.
I've seen those kind of hands in the porn I watch.
Not skinny like this, you.
No, it's a little too skinny for me. But
But listen, I can send you pictures or whatever you
please
want.
do.
Man.
Yeah, I
we're
appreciate
doing
that.
whatever you want.
yeah. So tell me what you're gonna eat today.
Oh, there's a place called Bear Burger.
Sure.
So we're going there later on.
Okay.
But I can only really do I'm only really having 1 or 2 meals out here a day
because
it's so big.
yeah.
Big portions.
What do
I
you,
respect it.
why did you go? Why'd you go vegan? Is it not religious reasons, or is
No,
it
it's
just,
not religious reasons. It's
Well, that's what a lot of people go vegan for.
yeah,
religion.
Mindy knows. She understands that.
Mindy gets
yeah, we
Yeah.
it's just I like animals.
Dude, same. I really do love them.
And then I was vegetarian for like when I was like 12, I turned vegetarian. And then years later, I realised I should probably cut out dairy.
How's
but
the
occasionally, can I be?
Yes.
I don't. I do have a problem with saying I'm vegan. To be honest with you,
All right.
I would now. No.
Oh.
I would now say I'm sort of like plant based because there's something about the militancy of veganism that I find very difficult.
Right.
I kind of. I did this thing in Rwanda, this travel show in Rwanda, and they have milk bars there, right? In the same way that we have, like it's like a pub. And then if you and I sat down and drank a milk together, that would be like a sign of our like ongoing friendship, and that would be us solidifying our friendship, right? So this guy, I always have a co-host for these travel shows. This guy, he and I formed like an amazing relationship. He told me all about the genocide over there. I heard about his background and everything, and then he said, I'd love to take you to a milk bar. And I said, well, I don't drink milk.
Nothing like talking genocide over a glass of milk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you do it every week?
Dairy cures all.
It's
you know?
amazing, yeah.
It's so, it just, yeah.
Yeah.
So we sat down and then I said to him, look, I'm going to have a sip of it as a symbolic thing. And then I had some like almond milk or some shit that I drank for the rest of it. And did it. It was like a lovely moment. We had a chat. We talked about genocide and milk. And which is the name of my next tour.
I like that.
By the way,
Get
so make
tickets
sure-
January 23rd, Town Hall.
Genocide of milk. And then when that show came out, the vegan community fucking eviscerated me, man.
Jesus.
Because they were like, I can't believe you give up your principles for something like that. I drank like 10 milliliters of milk, and I got absolutely still. And it's things like that kind of put me off a little bit.
How's the cholesterol and blood pressure and overall health?
I had like I had to have a full health check for a TV thing I did recently. I'm all good, I think.
So you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd had my physical age assessed. You know when you can get it measured or whatever.
Sure.
I think I'm like 35.
Oh, you're perfect then.
Yeah.
You're a young man.
Yeah. Although I'm older than. How old are you, Vito?
32.
Yeah.
And John's like 26.
How are you? 26. What is it like? How's it feel, man?
I like it. I'm a fan.
But your age is not 26.
What do you think it is?
If I honestly do, you're probably 38. You're from Poughkeepsie. He's from Poughkeepsie, upstate New York, where it's just like
You look good though.
He does.
Yes, thank you.
In fact, all three of you look great. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate you. Look good.
Thanks, man.
Dude, look at you. I mean, fucking, I told you, dude, head to toe. Got the nails, TikTok hair. You look good. The glasses, dude. You look at your
Thanks, man.
glasses. It's sweet.
Thanks, man.
Sweet.
I appreciate it.
What a great guy. Look
Thanks,
at this.
man.
I
I
feel
think
like
you're a great guy.
I feel like we're just going to hang out more.
Yeah, I think so. I'd love
Right?
to hang out more.
I wish I
Hold on, are
wasn't
you
in-
saying that in like a... Is that real?
It's real. Vito knows it's real. I was excited to have you on when we confirmed
Okay.
it yesterday. He was like, "Oh, you normally get pumped about guests but I was like, "Oh, I really want to meet this guy."
I don't think he's ever said on the show he wanted to like hang out after.
No,
I'm not even saying that.
no.
That's
Yeah, but
real.
then I've only just met you. I didn't, you could... Obviously, you guys are working in cahoots together. I'd got no idea.
That's
How
true.
much to
I've,
trust
I've
you either.
exposed him for everything. So
Oh, right.
far.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
true,
That's
yeah.
a good point, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm not going to be. You're only in New York City again, January 23rd for Town Hall in New York City, and then you're leaving again.
Yeah, although, can I tell you my other plan?
Yes.
I'm planning on coming to New York for like a whole month.
When?
We're figuring it out. But you know, like how you said you do the UK thing for a month?
Yeah.
I'm planning on coming and just gigging and stuff for like
The
a
wife
month.
and kids love New York.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's great that your littlest one is 10, so it's easy to travel with now. My little one is 3, so it's a lot to
Right.
travel with.
Yeah, yeah.
But you weren't doing that when your kids were that little. You were just
No.
staying in England.
Yeah.
But now that's a beautiful thing, so I'm hoping to get there. When you come, your whole family, you're sleeping over. Bang, done. You coming to Staten Island.
No, yeah, okay.
We got space for you.
Really?
100%, dude. And I'm gonna tell my kids to throw out all the fucking milk
Thanks, man. Thank you. And cheese and all that shit.
and
as
cheese.
well.
And I said the only time we're gonna have milk is when we're talking about the Holocaust.
Thank you, man.
That's it,
That
bro.
means a lot to me. Thank you.
Romesh Ranganathan.
It's got worse every time.
Hell yeah, dude. Sri Lanka fucking rules. Suck it, India.